All right. Good morning. Good morning. Tito's Vodka Bloody Mary game this morning. Mississippi State Bulldogs, Baylor Bears. What? Okay. Well, that's going to be a tight one. We may have to do that at 8:30. Yeah. All right. So the Owen Miller on Josh Hubbard, we may do it at 8:30 because it sounds like Jackson doesn't know yet, but he says it may be 4 minutes, it may be 6 minutes. There's a little bit difference in that, so I'm going to let him figure that out. But we're excited to be on the show. We are the Out of Bounds Show.
By the way, I'm a fan.
Ooh.
By the way, I'm a fan.
Ooh. And, man, we got hoops today. Can you believe Mississippi State and Ole Miss are playing on the same day in March Madness? This does not happen often. 105.9 The Zone ESPN. I'd love the Out of Bounds roll call to continue. That's brought to you by MS Smart Homes. Last night, I was in my man cave. I was watching the games, 2 TVs, surround sound, the Sonos surround sound system, powered by Mississippi Smart Homes. And Jake Manning, mssmarthomes.com. Get yours now. Probably get it in before the Final Four. I don't know how booked up he is, but maybe the Masters. It's awesome. It's changed the way that we all in our house watch games, movies, and of course Spotify. And because we turn the music up loud, especially Rex and I when I'm batching it.
By the way, I'm a fan.
Wendy's going out of town for the weekend, so it's just me, Rex, cigars, beverages, and the house. I mean, I don't even know what will be left standing, but Rex is 18, so he can't see or hear. So it doesn't matter how loud I turn up. The Sonos surround sound system, mssmarthomes.com. Jake Manning, take your movies, game day, and music to another level in your home. Mississippi Smart Homes, mssmarthomes.com.
By the way, I'm a fan. By the way, I'm a fan. By the way, I'm a fan.
What's up, dude? Are we on video yet?
Yeah, we're rolling.
All right, we're on YouTube. Search Out of Bounds Sports. We haven't been on YouTube in like a week, but we've been doing stuff.
Exactly a week.
We had 3 remotes this week.
God,
we were
man, you're not busy.
on
Chill.
live from Pearl River Resort on Monday, live from the station in Fondren on Tuesday, which was a party.
That pizza is so good.
That pizza is a party at the station in Fondren. And then live from Pearl River Resort in Golden Moon yesterday. And by the time I left, that place was rocking. Now, I don't know what Marshall Henderson and his 18 buddies did to that place yesterday afternoon and last night. It'd probably never be the same.
Yeah.
But that place can withstand a party because it's a resort.
That's what it is.
PearlRiverResort.com. Book your stay and play, DancingRabbitGolf.com. Marshall and his dad and 18 buddies were going out on the Dancing Rabbit. It was a little chilly yesterday, especially with that wind kicking up. And Marshall said they had a dude that was going to play from the tips that was a .5 handicap. I'd like to know what he shot yesterday. In fact, I'm going to text Marshall during the break. But it was good to see Marshall Henderson in the sports book. He's so funny, man. Glad that I got to know him through Steve Azar and the Delta Soul charity event. And it's fun breaking bread with him at Doe's and watching him chug wine like Jackson Meadows would. We're trying to get them a little bit more of a refined approach, and I think we're getting there. But Marshall looks like he can still play. He looks like he's still in good shape.
Of course.
He can hoop. You know, he walks out on the court. He's abused some people and like just pick up basketball in Dallas, Texas. Just absolutely
Wearing them out.
abused people, right?
Ooh, baby. Ooh, baby.
Yeah.
I got him down for a smooth. I don't know. He could probably get like 6 out of 10 free throws. He's not clipping 8.
Are you still banging that drum?
I know that's a guarantee.
Dude, you're not hitting 8 of 10 free throws.
It's a guarantee.
You let me know how much you want to bet.
I will. All right.
Okay?
All right. I need to let me go do some research this weekend.
Okay. Yeah, do some research
I fire
there.
off one shot and it goes in. The rest of them are going in.
All right. Pug on the Dancing Rabbit Golf text line. Bo, I went 7-2 on my bets yesterday.
Nice.
3-0 on live bets. What are we doing today, Dr. Meadows? I know you've got the plays. I love that, man.
Baby.
I love that.
Got a live bet it the whole way through. It's the best way to bet.
You got a live bet.
Live bet.
Damn right.
You got to get a feel for the game. If you don't have a feel for it, what are you going to do?
LeBron James said Marshall Henderson has the greenest light in the history of basketball. You know, I'll give AK credit. By the way, AK almost went to another NCAA tournament at UAB after going back-to-back years. They got clipped in the championship game of the AAC against Memphis and Penny Hardaway. They just couldn't get rolling. You know, it really stayed at 8-10 throughout the game. But unfortunately, I mean, I don't have anything against Penny, but I like AK, and I think it's a cool story. And he's been able to lead, UAB to a couple of NCAA tournaments. He was such an enigma at Ole Miss. You know, it was a roller. He would always win 20, sometimes knock down 21 or 22. There were several years AK and Rick Stansberry would win 21-22 and wouldn't get in. For whatever reason, I guess just the conference wasn't strong enough back then, because now you get in easily at 19 or 20. But, they lived in the NIT. Obviously, Rick went to 6 NCAA tournaments, which we did not celebrate like we should have, because ask AK if that's hard, because he went to 1 at Ole Miss or 2. I remember the play-in game that he beat BYU 94-90 or 94-90, something like that. But I can't remember if AK punched his ticket one more time.
And then
Anyway.
lost one. Did they lose one? The playing game?
They may have. He
Xavier?
won one against BYU.
And may have lost one to Xavier. I don't remember if that was AK. I'll look.
Okay, Kermit didn't play in a playing game. He played in the real
then it was
thing on
AK.
the same day as Ben Howland a few years ago, because we haven't had what's happening today happen often in the history of the state of Mississippi. Obviously, it's very difficult to get to the NCAA tournament from this state. It's just part of it. And we're not necessarily a basketball state. We've had some good players come through, but as we've talked about, it's very rare that you get a Josh Hubbard who's ready to play day one. Usually get kids that are ready to maybe play year 2, maybe year 3, and by then they transfer. Rick ran into that a lot. He would sign all the good players. They would come with kind of a crew around them, and they wouldn't be ready, and then they would transfer, sit out, and then they'd be ready by their next school, like Rodney Hood or Osby and at Oklahoma, or Hood at Duke, and that list went on and on. But, yeah.
Ooh, so tasty and ironic. Guess what? Texas still sucks.
Well, that's not my fault.
Completely forgotten that LeBron tweeted about Marshall.
I'll give AK credit. He never shut him down.
Nope, never did.
I mean,
Did right.
Marshall could shoot from one state over, and AK was like, go ahead. Hey, if you want the coolest experience while you're watching TV, okay, games, hoops, football, golf, movies, Spotify, call Jake Manning today. MSSmartHomes.com. I've got the Sonos surround system both in our, kind of living room, kitchen, entertainment area, and in my man cave. It's awesome. MSSmartHomes.com. Call Jake Manning today. Mississippi Smart Homes. Get the Sonos surround system, and you can control it from your phone. It's awesome. All right.
Guess what? Texas still sucks.
Good morning. Welcome in. Yes, I'm getting the text messages on the Brandon High School football thing. And who knows? Lance Pogue, maybe a coach right down the street from us. Who knows? Brandon Bulldogs. Sam Williams took the job down in Mobile. That's a hell of a school, hell of a job. And we'll see what shakes out there. March Madness, baby. Your SEC Insider Hit is brought to you by the Men's Clinic in Madison and the Men's Clinic in Brandon. If you're low testosterone, low energy, visit their website, themanthing.com. Call them, get a free consultation. They'll walk you through what you need. Customized for every guy. Assisting you through the aging process, the Men's Clinic in Madison, the Men's Clinic in Brandon, Dr. Mike Manning and Dr. Cliff Adams, themanthing.com, themanthing.com. So, woo.
Get that guy drunk. I bet he'd fight everybody.
Who do you think that is as far as coaches in the tournament? Trying to think that through, you know? I mean, the Clemson coach looked like he liked to throw down at some point in his life. He looked like he ran a division of a concrete company.
Probably
Get that guy drunk. I bet he'd fight everybody.
Probably should have threw down more on the court.
Yeah, well, Will Wade is the original American gangster,
I mean,
and that guy didn't have a shot.
Do you know what his record is in conference over the past 2 years?
Will Wade at McNeese? What?
It's like 36-2.
Are you serious?
He's lost one
Well, they
game.
didn't play that many games, did they? Well, maybe they did.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, well, maybe they did play 18-ish games. Damn.
I know.
Okay.
So whenever he does leave, there will be a celebration.
Yeah. You know, back in the 80s, Mississippi State played at the Coliseum one night, and I had, I don't know, access to the locker room or something somehow. And McNeese lost to Mississippi State, I think. I don't think they won. Well, there was a guy on the team that looked like Andrew Toney, so I wanted to meet him. I ended up going on the bus. This guy looked exactly like Andrew Toney of the Philadelphia 76ers.
Right.
And so I went on the bus and told him that. And I don't know why I just remembered that, but I was like 12 years old or something, and that's what I did.
That's what he needed to know.
Yeah. So that's my only story on McNeese. And at that point, they were McNeese State. Now they're just
They're
McNeese.
flat out McNeese now?
I think so.
Okay. I was unaware of that.
I think the original American gangster just said, we'll be McNeese, and everybody said, yes, we will. And that was it.
The Cowboys.
Are they the Cowboys?
He's an outlaw.
Very nice. Okay. We have a Sooner fan in Brandon today. He's listening on ESPN 105.9 The Zone. He says, I would call John Calipari Johnny Capo Cicero after Paul Scorbino's character in Goodfellas.
Yeah.
Okay. Cesario?
Cesario.
Cesario. Johnny Capo Cesario. Boom. I love that.
Johnny C.
But Boomer Sooner, buddy. Thanks for listening to the show. I'm sorry I've taken a lot of shots at Oklahoma lately.
They shot themselves.
But it's not my fault. They went from, being really good in football to, well, not good.
Brent Venables.
We'll see if Brent Venables can get it done. I'm not real confident in that. Actually, I'm not confident. But we'll see. Speaking of, Ole Miss plays at Oklahoma this year. I don't think Ole Miss has ever played in Norman. So that'll be a fun road trip for, the Oklahoma City area, Norman. Oklahoma went to
They packed it out.
Oxford and Ole Miss this past year. Ole Miss will go to, do you know that Ole Miss pulls what Mississippi State did a couple years ago? If I read this right, Ole Miss has 8 home games.
Really?
Dude, you're going to have to do some serious core wellness and recovery, some serious IVs, because they throw down at a high level up there in Oxford. They have 8 instead of 7 and 5 like most teams. And Mississippi State called it after COVID. A few years later, they called it the 8 home games 2 years ago. It should have been Mike Leach's team coming off 9 wins. We know what happened. Zach Arnett was the coach. But Ole Miss has 8 home games, if I read that right, this year. That is,
How much are they each worth?
I think every SEC win is worth over, I'll be conservative, over $10 million per win.
That's crazy.
But I think that you can make an argument that many a times they're worth $15 to $20 million.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mississippi State did not win an SEC game last year. Ole Miss won several. I don't know if Mississippi State's going to win one this year because you flipped.
They're not.
Your home game, like your winnable games were at home last year.
Yeah.
Arkansas, Missouri, Florida. Now your home games this year are Georgia, Texas, Tennessee, and Ole Miss. Let me say that slower. Georgia, Texas, Tennessee, Ole Miss. That's your home games. Your away games are Arkansas, Missouri, A&M, and whoever in the hell. Florida. Yeah. Oh, you play in Gainesville. That's right. That won't be good. DJ Lagway being a year older, that's probably not going to be awesome. You know, you think about what Lagway did last year on one leg. I mean, he beat Ole Miss. I mean, he made 4 plays in that game. That Ole Miss defense was phenomenal. And he made enough plays with, not one leg, not a lot around him. And I know that Florida defensive line gave Ole Miss hell and Dart all kinds of grief. But
Still had half a leg.
But he was, can you imagine if he was 100%? I mean, that kid can play.
Good.
He's thick, athletic, super, super high IQ. Life, I think, IQ, but definitely football IQ. Napier found him one. Don't forget that name, DJ Lagway. QB. In fact, Mississippi State and Ole Miss play. That's rare because we don't ever play Florida anyway. Right. But now that we're doing away with divisions, whatever. But Ole Miss will host Florida. Mississippi State will go to Gainesville. Both teams play Florida this year.
That is odd.
Yeah. And DJ Lagway and Billy Napier. But, and Ole Miss has 8. Will you look that up? Ole Miss has 8 home games because they've got Washington State coming to town. I don't think I looked at that wrong. Like, they've got chunks of home games.
Yeah, it's like a month where they don't leave.
Yeah.
More longer than that, I believe.
It's longer than that when I was looking at it.
Ready to roll it?
Yeah.
All right. They host Georgia State.
Dub.
They head.
Georgia State or Georgia Southern?
State.
Okay, go ahead.
They head to Kentucky after that.
Okay. All right. So
here's your home.
That Stoops isn't that good. Kentucky wasn't any good last year. Don't know how Ole Miss lost to a 1-7 Kentucky team. But that's early in the year. And although Austin Simmons is going to be really good, I think it's one to keep an eye out on. Should Ole Miss win? Yes, but they should have blown them out last year. What's number 3?
Arkansas is headed to Ole Miss.
Home.
So that's your home stretch starts here.
Okay.
They host Tulane after that.
Okay.
They turn around and host LSU a week after that.
Oh, my gosh.
2 weeks later,
Okay.
which is a month past the first home game, they host Washington State on October 11th.
So they won't be any good.
So all of September, you're in Oxford.
Got it.
That's hot.
Yeah, that's hot. Hot games, but
Then they roll to Georgia.
fun to win.
They roll to Oklahoma.
Hold on. Georgia away. That's not going to be easy.
Oh, wow.
Oklahoma away.
And then they get November at the house, except for the Egg Bowl
Okay.
at the end. But the 3 out of 4 weeks in November, they're at home.
Who is it?
South Carolina.
Okay.
Citadel.
Ooh.
Florida.
Oh, wow. Late in the year.
Again. Wasn't it? Yeah. That was same time last year, right?
And then Egg Bowl. It was close.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was late in the year
Yeah.
because they beat Georgia, took a week off,
Then
thought they had made the playoff, go down to Florida, Lagway's hurt, and they lose. So that is 1, 2, 3, 4. How many away games?
you got. I got one at Kentucky. I got one at Georgia, one at Oklahoma, and one in Starkville.
I was right.
Oh my gosh!
8 home
Wow.
games.
And then to be honest with you, 9 of them are. I mean, I know the Egg Bowl's away, but you're in the same state.
Right.
Good Lord! They only travel out of state 3 times. No way.
Yeah.
That is wild.
Mississippi State has decided to play at Southern Miss. You should write in every athletic director's contract that you can't book that game. That's dumb. And, you're kind of walking into a hornet's nest. You don't know what you have. You're in a massive rebuild. Levy's trying to learn how to be a head coach. Your defensive staff is, weak. And you've got 40-something new players in Southern Miss, and Charles Huff has 40-something new players. Handicap that one for me. I don't know. I do know that Levy did acknowledge that the offensive line basically looked like Swanee. Now, your defensive line is much bigger. You got some bigger dudes. Are they good? I don't know. But we'll see. We'll see. It's going to have to be more about the party, which is not really how you operate. God, are there going to be more Texas fans than Mississippi State fans at that game? Ooh,
There's a shot.
I mean,
No, there's a shot.
Georgia's coming to town.
Hey.
Tennessee's coming to town. So you got Heupel, Smart, Sark, and Kiffin. I mean, those are all excellent coaches.
That's tough.
I mean, Smart, national championship. Heupel, college football playoff last year. Sark, college football playoff last year, college football playoff the year before. Kiffin, unprecedented run in Oxford. That's who you have coming to they're all top. Yeah. All have top 10 staffs. Sark, Smart, Heupel, and Kiffin all have top 10 staffs. Your staff would be ranked 16th
Oh, man.
in the SEC,
Right.
not 16th in overall college football. And that would be behind Vanderbilt. Holy Mary Elsa, I'm going to make Mississippi State fans start drinking at 8:43 in the morning.
Oh, yeah, in March. That's a rough.
I want to say it can't get any worse, but can it? I mean, you went 2-10 last year, right? I don't know. I don't know what to tell y'all, actually.
Get a bottle of bourbon.
A bottle?
Yeah, I mean,
What's that going to do?
Barrel.
Okay. Yeah.
You got to do a barrel.
Everybody gets a barrel pick from Elijah Craig. If you're a Mississippi, for those that are renewing your season tickets
There you go.
this year,
Give them a reason.
good luck.
Yeah.
Should I switch gears? I'm not being nice.
I mean,
Let's drop the Josh Hubbard. That's not. I don't know if that's any better, but you are playing in the NCAA basketball tournament, which is awesome. You're in March Madness. Chris Jans, Josh Hubbard against Scott Drew and the Baylor Bears. And here we go, 11:15 tip, Raleigh, North Carolina, LFG. We're ready. You're ready.
By the way, I'm a fan.
This is Owen Miller, who coached with Richard Williams and AK. He's talking about Mississippi State's offense and Josh Hubbard.
But all right, so you mentioned the tough draws, and Sean. I want to talk about Sean Padula and Josh Hubbard. You mentioned Baylor's going to zone them stuff, so their main focus, Owen Miller, is to take out Hub and make the other players, Melendez, Harris, Kugel, make those guys beat them, and that could be a big problem tomorrow morning at 11:15 for Mississippi State, because Izzo did the same thing last year. Oh, and you would be able to like explain it in basketball terms, but I was there in Charlotte last year. Izzo and them had one goal: take Hubbard out, make everybody else beat them. Couldn't happen, and I think that's what we'll see tomorrow with Scott Drew and Baylor, don't you?
I think you're right on. I mean, I think that's exactly what's going to happen, and some other guys are going to have to step up and make shots. And it's kind of been the MO for them all year, right? It's kind of been the blueprint to beat Mississippi State is really guard Hubbard, don't help off of him, basically just man-to-man coverage, no help, chase him off every screen, hard hedge him off every ball screen, and make it really hard on him. And if you can do that, you got a good chance to beat him.
All right, talk about Hubbard and his game. He's built like a strong safety, 5'10"-ish, can shoot it. He's added to he scored a lot from mid-range and at the rim this year because his shot just hasn't quite been there. He's had it at times. Shane Power told us that at Iowa State, Owen, and I think that you'll be able to expand on this. Shane Power said his freshman year he played really well at Iowa State under Eustachy. And then the second year they moved him to point guard. And he said, Bo, there's so much more you have to do that it affected my field goal percentage because you got to run the team, you got to do all these things. And so we've seen a little – Hubbard still played great, but we've seen a little bit of that. Talk about his game and the fact that he had to take over 99% of the point guard position and how that's a totally different deal than playing shooting guard.
Yeah, it's hard. I mean, it's a hard transition. He needs to play on and off the ball. Obviously, he's had to play on the ball all year. But I think as you look at his freshman year compared to this year, I think Shane's right on. It's a completely different role he's had to take on. But I think you'll see them add this in recruiting. They've got to get some guys around him that can make plays and shots.
Yes.
And I think when that happens, it's going to automatically take pressure off him, especially defenses, and he's going to get some better looks. Man, the dude doesn't get any good looks.
Right.
You've watched him all year, and you go back and if you watched, the looks he got last year, they were just a lot better. Because if he gets a good look, it's going to go in, and he's having to work for everything. He's not getting anything free. And so that wears on you. And then he's having to run a team. And so I think he's had a good year. I know you look at his percentages and people have said the sophomore slump, but I think Shane's right on. I think it's his roles changed. And as much as that, it's the people around him,
which need to be upgraded. But anyway, you are where you are at this point in the year, right? So you got to roll out your roster. It's a pretty good roster. Obviously, Hubbard is the best player on the team. Basketball IQ through the roof. Been a winner his whole life. Led Mississippi State to back-to-back NCAA tournaments. And they'll play at 11:15 today against the Baylor Bears. The Baylor Bears. Scott Drew, national championship coach, 5 Sweet 16s, 3 Elite Eights, a national title over Mark Few and Gonzaga. And man, oh man, their roster, we talked about it earlier. Let me get to the stats here. I love this name, Norchad Omier and Robert Wright III and Edgecombe, all guys who can ball. Omier, he's a double-double, 16 points, 11 boards a game. In college basketball, that is filthy. 6'7", 240, Cam Matthews and Nwoko will have their hands full with him. And so they were expecting a huge year at Baylor, and they didn't do quite what they wanted to. But as Cal told us a few days ago, it's just about getting in the tournament when you have talent, even if you haven't done what you're supposed to do November through March 1. It's about getting in the tournament. We saw that last night with the Arkansas Razorbacks over Kansas. Going back to what Owen Miller said, we've talked about it. Shane Powers talked about it. Then Owen Miller, he didn't know, the conversations we've had with Shane Power. Got to make it easier for Josh Hubbard. Got to run some sets that make it easier. for him. And who's going to score? You may need 3 scores today, not just another one outside of Hub being Harris or whoever. You may need 3. So something to keep an eye on. And you really don't have a backup point guard. I mean, I don't even know if Warren's a P5 player, P4, whatever the hell we are doing. But we'll see. Now, they've had several days rest. What are they on? A week? Because, they won one and then lost one. And they beat LSU, lost Mizzou in the tournament. Yeah, so they've had a week. I don't know what Jans has done. I don't know if it's been extremely difficult practices or trying to get their legs under them. I mentioned the last few weeks that I didn't think that they had the legs that some of the teams that they played the same amount of games as some of the SEC teams. So do they have their legs under them? And are they refreshed and all that? We'll see. It's going to be a ton of fun. It's going to be nerve-wracking. And that's what it's about. Did y'all see the players and coaches celebrating? I think we forget how big a deal round 1 is.
Huge.
I mean, did you see the celebrations?
Right.
Unbelievable.
And
By
it's
the way, I'm a
deserved,
fan.
man.
Yeah.
The whole year comes down to this tournament.
The whole year comes down to this tournament.
All that
A
matters.
2-hour game.
All that matters.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter how you shot in October or how you practice in October, shot in December.
You're a shot maker. They're going to have to
You
find
have to shoot it to make it.
a couple of shot makers.
Let them shoot. They need to shoot.
Well, and it needs to go in. And then Ole Miss, R.J. Davis versus Sean Padula. And Hubert Davis against Chris Beard. Somebody called Ole Miss a fraud.
Yeah. Tim Doyle.
Tim Doyle.
He's a fraud.
Jackson says that Tim Doyle with CBS, whatever he's with,
That's it.
is the fraud.
He is. I mean, look, he looks like a fraud. He just reminds, I don't know, it's weird. He reminds me of Joel Osteen a little bit.
Nice.
He's fraudulent.
Well, correct. Accurate. No doubt.
They're like below Vanderbilt. I mean, they're like Mendoza line quality.
Ooh. Wow. All right. Mudbugs is open. Friday, Saturday. Well, it's Wednesday through Sunday, but we're on Friday. Mudbugs at the Reservoir. Mudbugs downtown Brandon. They have, obviously, Michelob Ultra on tap. They have Key City, Mississippi Queen. And they have Mango Cart, which is delicious beer. Mango Cart. Golden Road Mango Cart. Mudbugs for the win for crawfish and shrimp. And don't forget, the Keg House in Ridgeland, Highway 51 by Fleet Feet. Another great place for March Madness. 41 beers on tap. The Keg House, Highway 51 in Ridgeland by Fleet Feet. Best game day pretzel in the SEC.